Michaels.
And I'm Daniel Stenger, and this is Xavier News.
From the Xavier University Television Studio, this is Xavier News. Your campus, your region, your world. This is Xavier News.
North Korea tried but failed to launch an intermediate-range missile Friday, according to the South Korean military. Quote, North Korea appears to have tried a missile launch from the East Sea area early morning today, but it is presumed to have failed, end quote, South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff said. The missile appeared to be a Musudan, also known as a BM-25, according to South Korean authorities. South Korea warned Thursday that it had spotted a mobile launcher carrying 1 or 2 Musudan ballistic missiles near Wonsan on North Korea's east coast. North Korea has displayed the Musudan at its military parades and is believed to have supplied military assembly kits for the missile to Iran, but it had never tested this model of missile before. The Musudan uses the same sort of engines as the submarine-launched ballistic missile that North Korea tested last year, which also failed. North Korea is banned by UN Security Council resolutions from launching ballistic missiles or carrying out nuclear tests, but continues to do so. The international community has responded to North Korea's latest provocations with tough sanctions aimed at cutting off the state's ability to procure parts and finance its weapons of mass destruction program.
Authorities reported a 6.2 magnitude earthquake late Thursday in Japan's southern Kumamoto prefecture near the city of Uiki, killing at least 9 and injuring 800 people, 50 severely. The prefecture office reports that 44,449 people had evacuated. Jen Aoki, director of the Japan Meteorological Agency's Earthquake Division, warned more aftershocks could occur over the next week. CNN meteorologist Chad Myers said, quote, "This is an earthquake that is going to shake for a long time," end quote. He added that such could mean many more building collapses, saying, quote, "The buildings that were damaged in the original shock have now been redamaged or reshaken, and all of a sudden you have a cracked building and it wants to fall down with the second shake," end quote. While the magnitude might not seem extreme, the shallow depth of the quake, just 10 kilometers or 6.2 miles, is significant. John Bellini of the U.S. Geological Survey said, quote, "When you have a shallow earthquake, such as this one is, you have the potential for more damage because the shaking is close to the surface," end quote. In addition to destroying 19 houses, the quake hurled items off store shelves and littered the streets with rubble. But there's one bit of good news. The quake was centered mainly under land, not an ocean, meaning it did not spawn a major tsunami, which could have killed and injured countless more, in addition to millions in property damage. Most students on campus may be aware of the Student Government Association, or SGA, but may not be entirely certain how they contribute to student life. Reporter Lucy Purcell brings us a look at SGA's unseen work to improve the Xavier student experience.
Student Government Association, or SGA, is a small collection of the student body to represent the rest of the students in projects around campus.
Student government is pretty much just the opportunity for students to have a voice on campus, where we elect a group of 20 students who think will best be able to voice the student opinion towards the administration, try to do what will make it so the campus can run as smoothly as possible, and give every student the opportunity to have an enjoyable experience when they're at Xavier.
It's important because we're the connection between the students and the faculty and administration, and also to give a voice to those who feel like they're speechless here on campus.
Well, especially with SOC right now, the biggest thing is that we're trying to pass the budgets for all 109 clubs, and looking into each that we have, if student government wasn't active and doing what we were doing, we wouldn't have the amount of funding we do, which would make it so that these clubs wouldn't have the opportunity to grow like they have been. So just looking at it from this perspective, I'm new to the school, I'm a freshman, so I haven't really gotten to know before this, but seeing what the clubs actually do to promote what Xavier's message of equality is, what opportunity is, it really has the ability to let everyone join a club that makes them feel comfortable when they come to the school and really just thrive while they're here outside of the classroom.
They work hard every day, making sure that this university grows with each class and every student's needs are met. For Xavier News, this is Lucy Purcell.
The families of Sandy Hook are moving forward in a legal case against Remington Arms. The suit argues that the weapon used in the Sandy Hook shooting in 2012 was a military-grade weapon and should not have been sold to civilians. The shooter, Adam Lanza, killed 26 people with a Bushmaster XM15E2S. Remington Arms is the parent company of Bushmaster Firearms and argued that federal law protects gun makers from most cases involving the criminal use of their weapons. However, Joshua Koskoff, a lawyer for the families, claims to have found a loophole. Koskoff said, quote, "Litigation is permitted if the company knew or should know their products are likely to be used in a way that risks injury to others," end quote. Judge Barbara Bellis did not rule on that point and delayed it for later in the legal process. Koskoff told press, quote, "We are thrilled that the gun company's motion to dismiss was denied. The families look forward to continuing their fight in court," end quote.
Tennessee Governor Bill Haslam vetoed a bill on Thursday that would have made the Bible the state's official book. Haslam expressed his reasons for vetoing the bill in a letter to the Speaker of the State House. He wrote, quote, "In addition to the constitutional issues with the bill, my personal feeling is that the bill trivializes the Bible, which I believe is a sacred text," end quote. The controversial measure made it through the state Senate earlier this month after it died in that chamber during last year's legislative session. Haslam additionally wrote, quote, "Men and women motivated by faith have every right and obligation to bring their belief and commitment to the public debate. However, that is very different from the government establishment of religion that our founders warned against and our Constitution prohibits," end quote. Tennessee would have been the first state to have the Bible as its official state book had the measure been signed into law. Even though we may seem like total professionals that you would absolutely confuse for a national news program, we are a completely student-run program by TV Club, from the camera operators to the director to even us anchors. Xavier News' Cameron Stansberry takes the week off from sports to bring us a story this week about, well, us.
The Xavier University Television Club is an organization here on campus that offers students the unique opportunity to be a part of a weekly live broadcast of television news that airs campus-wide Fridays at 2:30 p.m. on Channel 14. The club meets on a bi-weekly basis with positions being assigned Mondays at 2 o'clock to prep for the live broadcast on Fridays. Meetings are held in the TV studio located on the outskirts of Brockman Hall and are open to all students.
I love TV Club because it gives a guy like me who wants to study broadcast journalism and practice that and pursue that as a career, a way to practice and a way to enhance my skills as a journalist, as a reporter, as an anchor. And it also brings our school together. For instance, we broadcast live to the cafeteria every Friday at 2:30, and you know, as you're sitting there eating, you can be watching us do something that we love.
I think my favorite part about TV Club is just having everybody here together. I really do think it's a group effort because without one person we can't really do the show. And I think I've become super close with a lot of the people here, and I love it. I wouldn't want to spend my Mondays and Fridays with anybody else.
TV Club gives Xavier students a new thing to do. You know, a lot of our members never did this before. They said, I'd like to be on TV one day, so why not now? Why not today?
The TV Club encourages all students who are interested in showcasing their talents publicly to either come to a Monday meeting or sit in on a live broadcast, as we are always searching for greater student involvement. Join us on OrgSync by searching Xavier University Television Association. We look forward to meeting you. Reporting for Xavier News, this is Cameron Stansberry.
The Makerspace is now open from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. weekdays on the first floor of the Xavier Library. The location is meant to serve as a place for students and faculty to explore their creativity through the use of 3D printers, molding clay, and countless gadgets and toys. This space replaced the old Connection Center and has spent the last few months in renovations. So if you need a little creative inspiration or even just a little study break leading up to finals, go check out the Makerspace.
A local Cincinnati group is running a gun buyback program this weekend at the Third Presbyterian Church. The program, called Gifts for Guns, is offering $50 and $100 gift cards to stores such as Walmart and Kroger in exchange for operable firearms. The program was organized by several different community and church leaders with a goal of putting an end to gun violence in the city. Avondale community members field a press conference earlier this week to discuss the focus of the program. The grandmother of a man killed 2 weeks ago spoke, saying, quote, "When you kill somebody else's child, you have killed yourself in your own parents' eyes," end quote. The first of 2 gun buyback programs will be held this Saturday from 2 to 5 p.m. All guns will be accepted, no questions asked. A local high school will be putting on the musical of Big Fish next weekend. For the story, we're going to send it over to reporter Connor Muldoon.
Headlines in high school news typically involve sports, but here at Fairfield Senior High School, it's the theater program that takes center stage. After the final bell, students gather at the theater to discuss their production of Big Fish.
While rehearsals can be stressful and memorizing lines can be stressful, when you get to perform, it's an incredible feeling.
You have to be such a family. They're going to want to support you and push you forward to be better. And then you get to do that for other people and you watch them grow since day one, and it's just amazing. So that is just incredible.
Director Michael Massey has a special vantage point of the show shared by his students.
I personally wanted a good story, something that the audience can grasp and hold on to.
It tells a story about a father and a son and their relationship in a way that I really haven't seen in theater before.
The cast and crew is rehearsing very hard in order to bring down the house. On the weekend of April 21st, a capacity crowd of about 800 will be able to enjoy Big Fish right here at Fairfield Performing Arts Center. And reporting for Xavier News, I'm Connor Muldoon.
That's all from the news desk. We'll be right back with the Xavier Sports Report with Paul Fritchner.
Hello Musketeers, welcome to this week's edition of the Xavier Sports Report. We'll start things off on the baseball diamond, where the Musketeers have gone 2-4 since we picked up here last week. They picked up a win on Friday as Zach Lowther threw another gem and shut down Morehead State, owners of one of the top offenses in the country. Xavier's bats provided enough support to win by a score of 7-1. The team didn't have as much luck the rest of the weekend, dropping the next 2 games to the Eagles. Still, Xavier's played exceptionally well at Hayden Field here at Xavier, now with a record of 6-3. The Musketeers lost the first game of the Joe Nuxhall Classic on Tuesday against Miami of Ohio, but they picked up their second win of the season against UC, on Wednesday. Not only did they beat UC, but the win was also Coach Guggen's 287th win as a Xavier coach, tying him for most all time. He'll look to break the record this weekend at Georgetown. The team returns home next Wednesday for a game against the Indiana Hoosiers at 3 p.m. On to basketball now, where 2 big pieces of off-season news broke this week. Forward McKinday London has decided to transfer, citing a desire to find somewhere closer to home. London did not get that much playing time this season, but he was efficient when he did, going 7 for 18 from 3. Sophomore Larry Austin Jr. has also chosen to take his talents elsewhere, as he understandably wants more playing time. With the arrival of Quentin Gooden and the emergence of Kaiser Gates this year, London and Austin likely would have been stuck on the bench again this coming season. The Xavier family wishes both of them well in their endeavors. Also, Coach Chris Mack may or may not have paid attention to my Twitter campaign asking him to never leave Xavier. I'd like to think he did, but either way, he signed a contract extension through the 2021-2022 season, which means he likely won't be going anywhere anytime soon, and that's good news to hear. Golf season is in full swing. Oh, wow, that was bad. And sophomore Jose Montano was named Big East Golfer of the Week yesterday after a stellar performance at the two-day Hoosier Collegiate at Otter Creek last weekend. Montano shot 5 strokes under par on the second day of the tournament. This was his second weekly honor as he helped the team finish 3rd overall at the event. In professional basketball, some dude named Kobe Bryant did something cool on Wednesday night. I guess scoring 60 in your last game is decent. And some team named the Warriors, I don't know, I thought Warriors fought in battles, broke some pretty important record. You've probably heard all about that because it was all over the news. A team going 73-9 for the best record in NBA history. It's kind of a big deal. Last but not least, it's time for Paul's Friday Fun Fact, where I tell you something that you may or may not find fun, but I can assure you it's a fact. According to Golden State of Mind, a website that covers the Warriors team, Steph Curry's record-breaking 402 threes on the year are equivalent to a baseball player breaking the single-season home run record and hitting 102 in a season. 102 home runs. Right now, Barry Bonds has the record of 73, and nobody's hit more than 50 since Chris Davis hit 53 in 2013. So yeah, Chef Curry was out there cooking this year. All right, you all, it's time to go back to your Friday routine. From everyone here at Xavier News, have a fun, safe weekend. I'm Paul Fritchner. I'll see you right back here at 2:30 next Friday, and let's go X.
This is Xavier News.